So I bought this chainsaw because I was trying to get into some bigger stuff. I had a MS-271 Farm Boss, and it just wasn't cutting it anymore. I was bogging down for the bigger stuff, 20 plus inches. So it was one of these things, go big or go home. I bought the second biggest saw Stihl makes, the MS-661 Magnum. I chose this saw over the 500i. The sales rep recommended it for me. This saw is traditional, has no extra electronics in it. You don't have to hook it up to a computer if you have any kind of issues diagnostically, and it makes more power than the 500i. I believe the 500i makes 79 cc, and this saw makes about 90. So you have some gains on that, and it'll run a bigger bar more comfortably. The 500i, you have to upgrade the suspension system if you want to run more than, like, let's say a 28-inch bar, when this one's already set up and ready to go.
So this one's a 25-inch bar?
Yeah, this one came with a 25-inch bar. You can run anything between 16 up to 36 with this particular saw. So this is probably its kind of sweet spot in the middle. This is it's a someone that cuts timber. It's designed for falling trees. All right, so this is a 661 MS-661 Stihl chainsaw. First thing you need to do in order to operate this saw is make sure you have the right fuel. So this is a 2-stroke engine. It does require 2-stroke oil. I'm using the full synthetic version from Stihl. It's a 50-to-1 ratio, so you want to make sure you have your mixes correct. So generally when I go to the gas station, I will put this in to my small gas container first, and then I'll put 1 gallon of gas in there. This is a 1-gallon can. I only usually mix about 1 gallon at a time because the fuel does deteriorate and become bad relatively quickly, so you don't want more than you need. This saw is rated, you need at least 89 octane. You cannot use 87 octane. I always use 93 octane. So once you got your fuel mixed, that's good. You also need your bar and chain oil. It helps lubricate the bar, keeps it cool, helps prevent wear and tear on the bar and the chain. So the rear here is where the oil mix is. I remember being at the dealership before, and one of the most common problems that people have, they bring them to be serviced, it's that someone put, you know, oil in the gas reservoir and gas in the oil reservoir. You can't do that. You make sure you're putting the right stuff in the right place. So this is, you got the little bar, little chain on here with a little oil, and you can visually see the viscosity and the color of the oil is obviously thicker and darker, so it's the right stuff. You can just buy the regular stuff, but this is the Platinum, which is like a full synthetic bar and chain oil. Just want to top that off and try not to spill it. All right, next thing, it will be the fuel. Assuming we got our fuel mixed, same thing, you don't want to overfill it just too much. All you do is engage the safety feature, engage the throttle, push it all the way to the very bottom. This is a larger size saw, so it's got a decompression valve. You want to push the decompression valve in. I'm going to crank it a few times until it fires. Once it fires, I'm going to stop. Okay, at that point, you engage the safety lever and the trigger, and you go up one more notch to here. Put the decompression valve in again, and it should start up at that point. Yeah, you have to, so you loosen these 2 bolts up. And once you loosen this cover up, then you're able to turn this flat edge screwdriver and increase your tension. You want some tension, you want it too tight, but you don't want it too loose.
Is that a Stihl tool, or can you just use a regular flathead screwdriver?
You can just use any flathead screwdriver. This is just a cheat tool they provide.
Oh, it's got a socket on one end for that too.
Yep. And you want to tighten it back up again.
So if you wanted to take this bar completely off, hypothetically, you would loosen those all the way.
Correct. So we're sharpening the chain here. All you do is line this mark up with the chain and do strokes forward.
So when you notice your chainsaw isn't cutting well, you need to do this to sharpen the chain, and you do it on both sides. Is it going both directions?
Yeah, you'll have to either be coordinated enough that you can do it this way, like this, or you can turn the saw around. And
who makes this tool?
Stihl makes this tool, but a lot of different people make the files. I like Stihl has the guide on there, so you know precisely where to align it. So there's your wedge cut, and I'm gonna cut about 1 inch or 2 above on the back side. So you never cut the whole thing, you leave this, it's called a hinge. So you'll cut around the circumference of the back side, uniform on both sides, and then when you get to the middle, you'll see it, there'll be this stringy, just a stringy line of wood, and that's your hinge, and that's what you actually use to break. And then when I go along, I'll probably put I got a wedge, I'll put a wedge in the back side. One, it'll prevent the tree from falling the opposite way than what I want. But also, you'll see if it starts backing off on this back side and putting tension on this side, the tree's about to go something you don't want it to do. It's going to go in the opposite direction. Earlier we were looking at this, there's a lot of rod on the bottom, and there's a little bit of a hinge here, but this really did not, I mean, it fell where we wanted it to, but it's quite hazardous to have a stump that rotted. It could fall kind of uncontrollably. So I mean, there's a hinge here and here, but you just gotta be careful what you're doing at all times. This chainsaw, it's a workhorse. It'll go through a tree effortlessly. Still under the break-in period, running half throttle, and it's still doing a good job.